So here's one we haven't done in a long time. Remember Fandom Rant? I'm going to be bringing that back, like, right now, and the idea specifically is to do it kind of the way I was doing before, taking questions and or referencing comments that have appeared on videos in the last month. So I figure that takes me back all the way to Fandom Night Returneth. That video had a couple of comments, and I'm going to respond to comments today on this video covering the stuff that I've currently been doing, and we're going to talk a little bit about it. I'm going to answer some questions and some comments. That's what I'm going to do. Alright, so let's get into it. Let's go about a month back. This was Fandom Night Returneth, and we got a comment on here from the Review Basement. This is somebody that I've been talking to for a long time here. It says, I've been with you guys for 5.5 years now, and I began experiencing burnout when you guys became just the Sentai Review and constantly talked about Kamen Rider because I don't have any interest in Kamen Rider. So I am excited for this because I came back in 2016 during my lowest period where I was sick and waiting for surgery. I didn't think I was going to make it. But I discovered your Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Season 1 episode, and it launched me into a world of insanity that I haven't been able to find anywhere else on YouTube or in other podcasts. So thank you, Bill, for being there, and thank you for being a place where I could go to make some friends. Now, right off the bat, I am always thrilled to hear this kind of stuff, to hear that somebody just got a laugh, that somebody enjoyed themselves, that somebody had a good time, that somebody got an experience off of this that they could take with them, that made their day more positive, that did something for them. I absolutely love it. I love it. That's not a joke. It's not an exaggeration by any means whatsoever. It brings no end of happiness to me to know that this goofy little stupid thing that we do with Fandom Night brings anybody any kind of happiness. Like, we're not very big. Like, 2,000.43 subscribers or something like that. We're not. And we don't get discovered too often like that. And I've noticed that the community we have is fairly vocal, and I'm happy for that, actually, because even when they're giving me a hard time, it comes from a place that's like, it's not trolling, it's enjoyable. And I've learned all kinds of shit from doing that show, but I'll tell you this, it's interesting to hear from him when he says that he started to experience a bit of burnout in the show. And you know what? I get it, because boy, were we experiencing it. We used to cover everything, and no, we're not exactly back there yet. We're making real progress. We're going into Star Trek topics. We have some Doctor Who stuff coming up. There are gaming topics that are going to be brought up, and we are in the process of gutting my garage. Then we're going to paint the thing. Then we're going to start slowly building a side stage that we can use in that garage, where we will be able to film live almost in the old style of the chairs. And that's something I'm looking forward to. That's still a ways off, but it's going to be worth it. It's going to be so good, and I really cannot wait. And you know, to hear that you were at a bad point, that you were sick, that you were waiting for surgery, that you were at a point where you literally didn't feel like you were going to make it, and you found something ridiculous, something stupid that you could just enjoy, that you could forget your problems for an hour. It makes what we're doing here worth doing. It really does. We don't get paid for this. Like, we've never monetized. We don't have a Patreon. We don't make any money. We don't have any kind of merch. Like, I've never went full run with this. I've never jumped in and said we can make something of this 100% guaranteed. It's come up from time to time that maybe there's a chance, but we've never actually run. We've never gunned for it. And sometimes I feel like maybe if I'd have leaned into it, maybe this would be huge. Maybe it'd be something else. But then there's times that, like, I don't know. I don't know exactly what keeps me from running full blast at this. Maybe it's the idea that I hit a wall and it'll all just tumble, and what I've built was hard enough to build. You know what I mean? And so yeah. Look. Small thing, but a big deal. I'm so happy to have Fandom Night back, and I'm so happy to hear stuff like this from the fan base. On that same video, we have Pascal Benjamins. I believe that's how you say his name. This is another person that's been on the channel for a long time, but it says, joined when you did the first trailer review of Power Rangers 2017. Ocean Lake is when I got hooked. The humor and the group energy is what makes the show great, but I would absolutely love you guys to do other stuff. Maybe some Mario Party, Minecraft, Conan Exiles, Kung Fu movie fight reviews. Hope you guys do finish the Lost Galaxy review. That's my favorite season. We are actually, now that we've gone back to the old format for Fandom Night, we do plan to go back and start moving along on the reviews, on the series reviews, and get us through Lost Galaxy, and of course go on and on and on and on from there. And I do like the idea of reviewing some Kung Fu movie fight scenes. Like, I don't know exactly what we would do with that, but it intrigues me, and I know that I've definitely got a lot that I would say about it. And I know some of the rest of the group would definitely be interested. I might even be interested in seeing some bad ones too. I don't know. Maybe it's good ones and bad ones or something. I don't know. I don't know what we would do with that, but it's an idea that intrigues me. And yes, we do have a couple of ideas to come in and do some, like, Let's Play stuff. We plan to cover a Power Ranger video game that we left behind a long time ago called Beats of Power that we're going to play again. We're going to kind of, because they did updates on that where you could play 4 players now, and why not, right? So there's ideas in the works for stuff like that, and Fandom Night coming back is definitely the best time and best way to handle that kind of stuff. And I got some old games that I would like to introduce to people in the group, and maybe we do something like that too, where we have Shane play an old game or something. I don't know. I'm not sure what we're going to do with that, but it's good ideas. Let's jump over to another video I did called Ghost Rider, but what won? Steve Cheese Eater actually commented here. By the way, that name. So the choices are either try to make a new actor copy the existing part, or try something new, both of which have risks. I love Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, but I would love to see one played by someone shorter like the actual character. With how the MCU is going story-wise, I think that they did such an amazing job leading up to the end game and should have probably ended it there. Yeah, we love certain actors in certain roles, but it just isn't sustainable. He's right. He's right in different aspects. For one, it's time to see somebody else play Wolverine. And we can't get into this mindset, and we are. We're in this mindset where we're like, this one guy plays this one role, and that's the only one that should play this one role. And it's a really bad mindset to be in. It's a really bad place to be in, because we're not giving anybody else a chance, and we're not allowing ourselves different artistic takes on said material. And that's going to bite us in the ass later on, because we're already reaching this point where we've reached a point where the new people that are coming in are constantly going to now be compared to the old people. And when we have to recast, it's become a problem, because we're getting used to the idea that one guy plays one character for 10, 15, 20 years. And that's That's craziness. And all this arguing over the Ghost Rider thing is exactly what I've been talking about with this stuff. And he gets it. There's a risk here. It's either we're at a point now where do we just start rebooting movies? Do we end the lineage of what we've done and we reboot the movie, or do we bring somebody in and they continue that material and they're constantly referred to like the old guy, like they did with Superman Returns. Superman Returns, he's supposed to be playing Christopher. But that presents us with a problem because we never accepted Brandon in that way. And had Brandon been allowed to just be his own Superman, he would have been freaking wonderful. Easily one of the best we'd have ever had. I argue that. I'm telling you that. I know that. I see that. I believe that. But like, what are you going to do? So now we're going to hop on over to another video. We're going to talk about the GBA N64 and GameCube coming to the Switch. And Sario, yes, that's the same one from Fandom Night. He comes in and he says, I feel like part of it is licensing and the other part of it is that they're choosing games that are getting talked about. Like the last 3 game updates featured a game AVGN did on an episode. And he's right. And it's awful. It's not a good way to promote that service. That service, at least the way I see it, is supposed to be the idea of introducing people to games of the past, gems of the past, of why the legacy is deserved. And instead, and I know licensing is a bitch. I get it. I very much get it. Licensing is a bitch. But you know, they're not doing themselves any favors by releasing games that the AVGN covers because they suck. No favors here. Just irritation. Next comment. So the next video was when I collected a couple of Ninja Turtles, specifically the ones that are right back right there. Those are the Ninja Turtles right there. Those are the ones. And when I did that, I got a comment from Seth Rollins, who specifically told me that the molds to these figures were reuses for the Classic Collection TMNT line, which was based off the 1987 series. Those figures came out in 2012, which explains why they don't have tails. And after he said that, I looked them up, and you can see it. You can see that they're basically repaint molds, which is fine. We let other toy companies get away with it, but I will say that those toys did give me a little bit of a problem, because Raphael's hand broke. Exactly like I said I was worried. I went to pull the fingers in, and when I pulled them in, they didn't want to go down, so I kind of grabbed it on the side and pushed it in like I did with the other turtles. I did the same thing with the other turtles. I kind of held their hand and was like, pop, pop, and kind of popped them until they would move correctly. And I tried that with Raph, and his fingers broke off. So now I'm going to have to glue them, and that really sucks, but that's what I'm going to have to do. Another comment on that video, however, says, nice hat. That was from Jake Schuster, and he's right. It is, in fact, nice hat. So on the Goodbye Trevor Moore video, which I don't do very often. It's very rare that I actually come in and talk about something like that an actor passed and it like affected me. Well, Frozen Ninja left a comment that says that they were possibly working on a Whitest Kids You Know movie. I don't know how that would work, but then again, I didn't know how something like a Jackass movie would work, and it worked. So like, there's no telling. We probably legitimately missed out on something real there, and that kind of sucks. At the same time, Sario came in, and he also left a comment that specifically said that guy was a massive influence for him. Trevor Moore was a massive influence for him as well. And like, I really figured that if somebody, the early Fandom Night crew, I'm almost 100% sure were hit by this one. Because it was shocking. It came out of nowhere. And like... And now I'm seeing all the rumors and everything surrounding it, and I don't like reading that crap right now. I don't want his death turned into some political agenda, that's for damn sure. Look, he was awesome. Okay? And it sucks that I even had to make that video. But like, yeah, I didn't know about the movie thing. And I figured that this hit Seth about the same way. I really did. The next video I did was, so short hair Tifa is a thing. And, you know, because like, it's a thing. And I did get 2 comments on this video. One of them was actually like just today, which literally comes from Super Small Chibi Wolf, which says, I just found out about short hair Tifa today. I was surprised. It's been so long since I kept up with Final Fantasy. And, yeah, this is one of those things that you could have missed. I mean, look, there's plenty of things going around all the time. You can't be the top of every freaking social media post. You just can't. Sometimes the memes are too ridiculous and you can't escape them and you're tired of seeing them by the first day that you find out that it's a thing. But like, yeah, the short hair Tifa thing, you know, I'm still not tired of it. I'm still enjoying what's coming out of it. And I'm seeing exactly like I said, I'm starting to see offshoots of it where they're like long hair this and short hair that. And like, it's interesting. I'm legitimately enjoying it. I got another comment actually on this video as well. And, there's no way I'm gonna get the name right here. If you've been on my channel long enough, you know that I'm bad with names. Bad with them. Friggin' awful. But I'm going to try this. I believe her name is Addie Hisabon? Hazabon? I'm sorry. I'm butchering the crap out of your name. I'm so sorry. I'm legitimately sorry. It's not my intention. But she says, it's Tifa. No matter what kind of hair she has, she's beautiful. For me, the short hair version looks pretty, majestic, and elegant. By the way, good content. Dropping my sub to see those other good contents come out of you. And I hope you found something here that you enjoyed. Something before I butchered your name and you were like, screw this guy, and you left my channel forever. I hope you found something else that I talk about, something that I do that you actually enjoyed. I'm more than happy, always happy to get every single little subscriber I can get. Not a big channel. I'm not begging for subscribers, though. You will not see me doing the whole, hey, and before we go on from this point, if you could click subscribe and hit that bell and maybe give a thumbs up thing. And I hate that. I hate that. I understand why so many YouTubers have to do it. It's not me. This is essentially a hobby. If it blows up, I'd run with it. I would love to do this kind of thing as a real job. It's not my real job. This is just where I hang out. It's just where I talk fandom. It's just something I enjoy doing. You won't see me begging for clicks and begging for subscribers. If I get them, I get them, and I appreciate every single person that is willing to waste a little bit of time listening to me talk bullshit. I did a video called Ninjas I Won't Be Getting, and that was specifically about the Lightning Collection guys that I don't like. Their faces kind of mess with me. I don't like the way they do the faces, and that makes me not care for them. And Christopher Baker actually left me a comment that says, yeah, for me, figure collecting was short-lived. I really went back into collecting music. Basically, that's what he does. Now, I've talked to him for a little while, too, and he is primarily a music collector. We all got our thing. We all do. Of course, as you could tell, I like figures. I do. I get somewhat particular about them, and sometimes I get a little weird about figures where I'll pick them up and I'll be like, this is great, and it's something that I'm really into, and then as my interest kind of narrows down and I kind of find a focus into exactly what I like about said material, then I will sometimes go back and pick up like 10 or 15 of those figures that I liked, that I bought kind of like on a, yeah, I'm getting all the Power Rangers stuff I can get. I'm getting all the X-Men stuff I can get. I'm getting all the so-and-so stuff I can get. And then like, I'll be like, okay, well, these Dragon Ball Z figures, these are the ones I really like. And these are the ones that I just kind of picked up because I was like, I don't have a Piccolo. I don't have a Cell. And then I get rid of them. Collecting, never forget that collecting is not something that you do for somebody else or to fit into like a culture or to be like part of the collecting. Like, don't ever do that to yourself. Collect things that matter to you. If you're interested in a figure and you pick it up and it's pretty cool and you put it on your shelf and the interest weans and dies off a week later, don't be ashamed to take it right off the shelf and be done with it. Every single item, I live by this. I'm telling you, I live by this. It's real. Every single item in your collection should have a purpose. It should have a story. It should have a reason. It should mean something to you. If it doesn't, get rid of it. Every single item on that shelf has a purpose, a story, a meaning. It's important to me in some minor way. If it's not, if I come across a point where I realize that the item on the shelf no longer has meaning to me, that it's no longer something that I enjoy, or the story just isn't, it just isn't a part of my life anymore, it goes bye-bye. And that's the way you should be handling your collection. Don't collect for anybody else, don't fall into collection traps, and don't make yourself a fool for the industry that wants to sell you plastic. Get things you give a shit about. And if you don't, if you find it's time to move on, move on. You, sir, have been music collecting for as long as I have spoken to you, and that seems to be your primary focus. If you find some figures that are cool, pick them up. I wouldn't say leave the hobby completely. Keep your eyes open. You may find something that you like. But every single item that you decide to buy or that's given to you that you decide to keep, make sure it has meaning to you. And that's the only part of your collecting that frickin' matters. So also I did something called Should She Go to DC? And that was specifically talking about Scarlett Johansson and the idea that she may have actually been offered by DC to go over there and start doing some DC movies. And in that, I specifically talked about how if she was going to do something, that maybe she should do Hawkgirl. If that ever becomes a thing, I personally don't think that she should do it. But I did get a comment on that video. I'm surprised that video actually did like almost no views at all, which I guess happens. My channel is random. I can get anywhere from 7,000 views on a video to 600 the next time, and then 9 on the next video. And that's because my channel is random. My channel is not focused on one thing. So I don't get like people that are hardcore fans. I get people that kind of discover me at random and listen to me talk bullshit. But Watcher Noir actually says, I rather she go to retirement. I disagree wholeheartedly. You are 100% entitled to that opinion, but here's the thing. Scarlett still has a lot to offer. She is a legitimate good actress. When I have seen her have the chance to pull away and do things that interest her, that do movies that interest her, she does good ones. I enjoy her for what it's worth, and I don't think she's even close to retirement. I think you are 150%, if not 280% wrong. She should not just jump to retirement. She's young, and she still has a lot of things to offer us, and it would be an honest loss to the industry to see her just go away. I don't know if that's exactly what you meant, but if it was, if you were like, if she's not going to do Marvel movies anymore, then I don't even want to see her in anything. If that was the actual idea there, if that was your comment, then you know what? No, I disagree. We disagree. I'm sorry. if that wasn't what you meant, maybe you meant something like she should just retire from Disney and comic book movies and do kind of what I was saying is go into other things, then we agree. I don't know, because I can't necessarily figure it out when it's in text. You could have said this many different ways to me, and those are my responses to what you said. So on the other video that I did here, Release Another Cut, I was specifically talking about the Ayer stuff that's coming out, this whole Ayer cut, and I did get an actual comment from Scott Action Jackson over there on Action Talk. He says, I think the original Dawn of the Dead currently has the most cut versions out there, with 3 or 4 of them. They were all on a DVD set years ago and thrown on Blu-ray in Japan maybe a few years ago. This is not... Maybe that's just something you're bringing up in general, but I'll tell you right now, this is not something that's just relegated to a couple of things. It's this is constant. This is... Hell, the American Pie movies have the theatrical cut, extended cut, unrated cut, and, like, that's a comedy. It's a comedy that you can buy 3 times. Like, and now they've found a way to not only release cut after cut after cut, but the whole point of that video was to talk about now they've found a way to make it so that it seems like the fans are the ones demanding the cut, and that makes the fans the heroes, and as long as the fans are the heroes, then they're going to buy the next cut, even though they already bought the first cut, and that's why they're bitching about wanting the secret, majestic cut that the director supposedly did. And sometimes that's a true thing. Sometimes interference is a very real thing, but sometimes that director's cut is worse than the theatrical cut. Sometimes they did you a favor. So, like, that's basically what that video was actually about. And I did get another comment here from Christopher Baker, who said, just gonna say, I hope the Ayer cut never gets released. Snyder fans don't just want the Ayer cut, they want the Batfleck, they want the Cavill Superman, the whole Snyderverse, even though it wasn't received even though it was somewhat received poorly back when they first started the shared universe in the first place. Hell, I checked and they were trashing the James Gunn Suicide Squad because they didn't reference the 2016. So, like, this is a fandom rant. This is, I don't want to see another cut because I'm tired of hearing people talk about cuts, and I get it. I get it, and we're talking almost the same thing, but I'm just kind of bringing up the fact that I knew this was coming. And sometimes I do actually like alternate cuts of a movie, because like I said, I prefer the Wrath of Khan director's cut. I really do not like the theatrical cut. I think that what was taken out was crucial to the movie, and it damaged the movie. So, like, this is a topic that we're going to end up talking about a lot. Every time there's a new cut and I get wind of it, and it's something that, like, really triggers me or whatever, I'm probably going to be in here talking about it again, because, like, the cuts are not something the fans are making happen. You're not a hero. You're not. Hollywood just found another way to sell you crap, and that's the truth of that entire situation. So I also did the Netflix Cowboy Bebop looks good, and I got a hit from Seth, which says, Sario, it says, my only issue with Jet is his arm is on the wrong side. I always thought he was black, just a lighter skin tone myself. With Faye, the costume not being correct doesn't bother me, because good luck getting an actress to agree to wear that. Seth is right. Seth is right. I'm sorry, he's right. Now, I didn't even notice that shit about Jet's arm. If that's true, then he caught something that I didn't even notice. Which it's fine. He probably did catch something. I don't have the picture right in front of me. But yeah, that would be crazy. In terms of that, this was not the only person that I had say something like this. I had a couple of people hit me up and say that they thought, because I think I got comments that were also on Facebook. I don't know why that happens. I post this on Facebook and on Twitter, and sometimes I'll get comments on the Facebook, but they won't comment here. I don't know why they won't comment on my YouTube. I don't know. Maybe they don't have YouTube accounts. Maybe that's, I don't know. But yeah, he agrees with me on the whole Faye thing. But I kept getting this where people already thought Jet was black. I think, and I could be very wrong, but the way that I see him, when I just look at a picture of him, I think Jet is based on an old, gruff white guy who basically is from like a noir movie, an old detective noir style movie. He even has an episode that kind of verifies that. Now, I believe there were 2 American voice actors, I think. I could be wrong. I think there were 2 different ones, and I think both of them were black guys. And so, like, this is another, like, Vader thing. When they took the helmet off, you didn't expect to see, like, some old pasty white dude underneath the suit. You, like, expected, even though it's Luke, I am your father, you kind of expected him to be a black dude. Like, you did. You just did. And I kind of did when I was growing up. And then I see it, and I was like, that's... Maybe that suit makes that voice, because that's not what I was expecting at all. So, like, yeah. And Jet, I don't see that this is a problem. I think that this will be absolutely fine. I really do. Like, the ethnicity change is really not a big deal with him because he was already kind of in both worlds anyway. If you look at his design and then you look at the voice actors, like, see, I'm still not seeing an issue here. I got another comment here by Joe Hurrias. Bad with names. Sorry, I'm going to mess up your names. You comment on my videos. I hope that doesn't keep you from doing so, but I'm sorry. It'll happen from time to time. But I see that's another one right there. It says, I thought Jet was black when I watched it. Essentially, he was. Like I said. And then I got one more comment from that goth nerd that says, is it though? And I did reply to that comment with, is what though? And they never replied back to me, so, it is though. I guess. I guess. I don't know why you left a comment, and then, I don't know. It is. I think. And for the very last thing on Fandom Rant this edition, I talked about OnlyFans. I said, you messed up, OnlyFans, you messed up. And you know what? I got a comment from Sario because, boy, if there's somebody in the group that is gonna talk adult content with you, it's definitely Sario. But look, he says, gee, I wonder if that has anything to do with the fact that everyone has already left and they know they won't be making any money. Plus, they state that they are suspending the known shutdown of the porn. That doesn't mean that once they have more cash, they won't shut them down again with no fucking warning. And you know what? I was speaking to somebody very recently, actually, a very old friend of mine, who specifically told me that they had an OnlyFans and they were literally just getting in on it. And this happened, and it was literally like a crushing betrayal, a trust betrayal right off the bat. Like, hey, I'm interested. I'm springing up in confidence. I'd like to do some photos. I'd like to kind of make my own thing. And that's what I understand that this is. And I talked about it in the video. I specifically said that for me, the way I see it is this is models, adult entertainers that are taking their own basically modeling contracts into or careers into their own hands and making the decisions that they want to make. They do the content they want to do. They shoot when they want to shoot. They create what they want to create. And then they charge what they believe that it's worth. And it's up to the fans and them to form a contract that says, yes, this is what it's worth. And it keeps the ball in their court that if they're not comfortable with something, they don't do something. Where we have seen in movies and in the adult industry and in like adult magazines and things like that, sometimes these people are not comfortable with what they're asked to do, and sometimes they're straight up tricked into doing it. And we've seen this before. And so that's the reason why I felt like OnlyFans was kind of offering a safe space space where these people could come in and do what they chose to do. And then my friend tells me that pretty much overnight when that shit happened, they were like, okay, that's the end of that then. Bye. Bye. And I don't blame her for a second. For a second. Find a different one. And I hope you did. I hope you did. I really hope you did. If you're watching, I hope you found something else, and I hope that it's working out for you better than it ever did. Because, like, look, you need to be in control of it. You need to be in control of what you're comfortable with and what you want to do and what you want to show and what you want to model and what you want to cosplay or yada, 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 yada. The ball should always and forever be in your court. And that was it. That was the entirety. That was the fandom rant. We have ranted. And now we gotta move on with their lives. So this was the latest edition of Fandom Rant, and I believe that this will become a normal thing that I'll come in and these won't always be this long. Sometimes I'll literally choose the specific things and maybe get up to a half an hour, and that'll be our cutoff point for these episodes. But hey, hope you enjoyed it. This was another Fandom Rant, the first one in a long time that's on the table here. I have ranted. Later on.
I have spoken. Take what you will from it.